What's going on, all you Marvel enthusiasts? Your two favorite Wakandans are back tonight. We're talking about the sequel to Black Panther. We're talking about Marvel Studios' Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That's right. Marvel is back with another movie this year to end 2022, and it gives us the sequel to Black Panther. Tragically, we know, as we all know, Chadwick Boseman passed away due to pancreatic cancer and wasn't able to continue in Black Panther 2, and that weighs heavily on the film. When Ryan Coogler was writing the film, he envisioned it with Chadwick still playing T'Challa. So when Chadwick passed, a lot of people didn't know, and they basically had to scrap the script and start from zero, start from scratch and start all over and write a movie that was going to, honor his, performance and the spirit of his character, obviously being the Black Panther in the first movie. And not only that, it was going to have to propel the story of Wakanda forward. And they did it in a very interesting way with this movie. I thought I liked what they did here. And they introduced an interesting new villain in the film. New villains, we'll say, a whole different tribe of people that live in the ocean, which reminded me a lot of Aquaman. But I liked how I thought they did a better job dealing with this tribe, we'll call it, in this film. It felt, all the underwater stuff looked a lot better to me than DC's Aquaman. I think, this was kind of like the better Aquaman version for me.
Made me think of James Cameron, The Abyss, or Avatar,
Mm-hmm.
and what you were saying with Aquaman. That's what it felt like. And I wasn't too
Mm-hmm.
familiar with these characters, but Namor is the villain in this movie. You're familiar with him, but yeah, setting up his character, his tribe of people, and these are the bad guys in this film. Essentially, it's all having to do with vibranium. But the setup of this film, they really do this gracefully. T'Challa passes away, and he has his like coffin that goes up into the ship, and they kind of do that really nicely. Saying goodbye to Chadwick Boseman, and also I wanted to add the beginning of the film too with the Marvel Studios. It was all Chadwick Boseman and the lettering, which is really fantastic and setup of this film. And they're really going for like a somber, grieving, kind of slower film. Just everybody's in pain after the death of T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman. Everybody feels it in the crowd. So everybody's really sad in a dark place in this film, and that's when his young sister kind of steps in his shoes to help everybody out and take out the bad guys.
Shuri having to deal with the loss of her brother in the film, the family, Angela Bassett, the mother. Everybody's dealing with the weight of losing their son, their brother, and the Black Panther, Wakanda's savior, basically the big superhero that came to power through the last film. But yeah, they have a nice little tribute for the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, and then they push the story forward. And with the new villain Namor, played by Tena Huerta, he did an awesome job as the villain. His acting, he put 100% into it, playing it straight. He didn't play it over the top like someone else would. He really played it straight, and I liked the his story and how he was kind of doing the motivation for his story, and wanting to go to Wakanda and the vibranium and everything. It had to do with his family and keeping his people safe. So it's very much a story of families and fighting, and keeping the honor of your family alive and doing whatever you can. But yeah, with T'Challa gone, somebody's going to have to inhabit the suit. We're not going to give any spoilers away, but along the way, we see pretty much everybody from the first film come back. We see Angela Bassett, like I mentioned. We see Danai Gurira as Okoye. Lupita Nyong'o is back. Letitia Wright as Shuri. And then we also saw a new character playing, who's going to be Iron in the Ironheart series. Riri, Dominique Thorne, young actress playing her. Basically, she's at a college and she's this, whiz at MIT. She's basically the young version of Tony Stark, we'll say, makes all these awesome suits, is a really high-tech engineer, and they need to, use her talents in order to protect themselves from this threat that's coming from Namor.
Yeah, and she makes this vibranium detector essentially, so they're trying to track down I liked Riri. I thought she was really cool, and she lives in Chicago. And that I saw the Chicago flag in the background. That was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
bringing her in, and she could be in some upcoming series. That's pretty cool. Introduction to her, but I liked her attitude, her being super cool and smart and working with T'Challa's sister, and then trying to figure out where this vibranium is. I liked her character a lot. Nice addition to this film.
Yeah, for sure. It was cool seeing her and her kind of take over for Iron Man in a way. We'll see, which everybody saw in the trailers was kind of spoiled that we kind of knew that that's where I was kind of headed. But I liked her character. She's an interesting character, and they're able to introduce her in the movie and make her fit in, not just like a character to be introduced just for the future, but they really incorporated her within the story of Wakanda Forever. Um, but yeah, the battles in this film are really awesome. There's some really awesome set pieces and battles, especially that final battle. I was on the edge of my seat. I thought the CGI and everything looked great. I like how Namor has the wings on his ankles, which they make a joke about in the film, but that's directly from the comics. But his performance really blew me away. I thought Letitia Wright as Shuri, she really carried the movie, emotionally, and having to, bear all this weight of her brother passing. And she really, did a great performance in this film, and those two are probably the highlights for me. But I had a blast with the film, everything from the opening to the big tribute to Chadwick Boseman to the great CGI to introducing a great new villain. I thought they did a really great job. Ryan Coogler and them should be proud of themselves for the work they did with the script and having to, obviously, they had to change it completely. And I give them a hand for making a good film here in Wakanda Forever. Did it live up to all the hype? I don't know. The hype was so high on this, weeks before the release, everybody was saying like, this is the best, best Marvel movie to date and all that. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it's the best Marvel movie or anything like that, but I thought it was a good movie and a good sequel to Black Panther, and one that honored the legacy and the acting of Chadwick Boseman.
Definitely, they went about this the right way. They took their time. Ryan Coogler, one of my favorite directors out there, returning to do the sequel. They did everything right. Saying goodbye to Chadwick Boseman, to T'Challa, and then Shuri taking over for this character, and then trying to detect this vibranium. Introduction to new bad guys. I think they did a really great job. Movie was a little lengthy. I could feel it towards the end. I thought the last 20 minutes were a little, they drew out a bit. Could have been cut down to about a 2-hour mark for me. But overall, I thought this movie is pretty good. CGI. The overall tone is completely different in this film compared to the first movie, which you can expect with people dealing with this pain and grieving over the death of T'Challa. So the whole entire tone is different. Whole aquatic under the water sequence in this movie as well, that kind of makes you feel like an Aquaman kind of vibe to it, but totally different. So they went about this different, which I appreciated. And really great Powerhouse performances here. Angela Bassett, actress that played Shuri, Letitia Wright, and the introduction to Riri. And I liked Winston Duke returning too. I always like him. He's a pretty funny guy. And of course, Michael B. Jordan making a little return. I always love seeing that guy. But overall, yeah, I was pretty pleased with this movie. Not the greatest, but definitely, a really fun time at the movie theater. Great story and a great, follow-up to sequel with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That being said, I'm going to give the brand new film now playing in theaters, Wakanda Forever. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Winston Duke hair pieces.
I am going to give Black Panther, Wakanda Forever a 3.5 out of 5 Killmonger hair pieces. We want to know what you guys think of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Did you think it honored the legacy and the life of Chadwick Boseman? Did you guys like the introduction to the new villains and the villain Namor, played by Tena Cuerta? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to click like, comment, and as always, subscribe. Thank you guys for following along with us. Also follow along with us for the latest and greatest TV movie news and reviews.
That's it for these two wild Marvel Cinematic Universe enthusiasts. Until the next movie review.